The late labor leader Cesar Chavez would have turned 87 today. Chavez was co-founder of the United Farm Workers Union in the 1960s, but he continues to be a major influence for workers' rights. San Diego's top labor leader, Mickey Kasparian, president of the San Diego Imperial County's Labor Council, joins me now. Mickey, why is Chavez still such a force in the labor movement all these decades later?
He was an icon, and he basically improved the lives of the most abused, exploited workers in the history of our country. And I think because he was the one who stood up, he improved the lives of tens of thousands of workers. No one else took that leap of faith. And I think because of that and the workers that he improved the lives of, he's just going to always be remembered for taking that leap of faith.
And how exploited, how abused were these workers?
I mean, not being allowed the access to shade, to water. They were using what was called the short handle hoe, in which they were literally almost leaned over their entire 8-hour day of working in the fields. Back problems, 30-year-old x-rays proved to be, look like 70-year-old people. And these people were so abused, and they were hit. They were actually beaten out in the fields. And so for someone to come in and organize these immigrant workers is just pretty incredible.
And so how in touch are today's workers with that history, and what are people doing to revive the spirit of Cesar Chavez?
I think it almost became Back to the Future, where for like 20 or 25 years, the workers' lives, the UFW workers and the farm workers really had their lives significantly improved. And now today, they don't have access to shade, don't have access to water. A lot of those same things that happened when Cesar Chavez came into play are happening today.
How did it get to be that way?
I think there was a decline in unionization to some degree, especially when, a lot of things changed in our country after the air traffic controllers were fired under Reagan, and unionization started to decline in our country, and it happened a lot in the fields. And it's so pathetic right now that it's as bad as it was prior to Cesar Chavez. So we need to revive the farm workers and revive the labor movement out in the fields, because right now workers are suffering and suffering badly.
So is there anything that's being done to revive it?
I think we're trying, especially like in Imperial Valley and places like that, because workers are scared. They're scared to try to organize because they feel that they'll be fired. They'll be sent, across the border. They'll never have jobs. So workers are scared to organize. It's actually, workers are scared to organize in the United States as well. So it's a problem right now because workers are fearful of losing their jobs, so they work under these pathetic conditions.
What are the key issues facing workers here in San Diego today?
I think people have to be able to earn a living. 40% of San Diegans can't make ends meet, and 80% of them have jobs. So we've got to get the minimum wage raised in San Diego. I mean, more people, I know I'm a labor leader, but more people have to organize. I mean, people that organize earn 35% more, have health care and retirement than those who are not organized. But we have to raise the standards. If the economy is going to improve in our city, our state, and our country, workers are where it lies. Workers have to earn more money so people can go to restaurants, they can travel, go to hotels. People are not earning money right now, and the economy is suffering, and people can't make ends meet.
Well, let's talk about workers' rights and politics a little bit. The labor movement was a big supporter of Councilman David Alvarez in his bid to be San Diego mayor. He lost. How are you working with Mayor Kevin Faulconer in terms of improving workers' conditions?
Well, we're not going to be fooled that, a lot of Kevin Faulconer's, views are different than those of David Alvarez's, which is why we stood behind David. But we do have dialogue with Kevin. We do have conversations with Kevin Faulconer. And we always, when we're having conversations with him, talk about improving workers' lives. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a Democratic issue. It's improving our city. And it starts with workers. So we have dialogue with him. I think that's good. And hopefully we can work together and make these improvements that San Diegans really need.
Very quickly now, the labor movement spent millions of dollars to try to get Alvarez elected. He wasn't elected. How big of a blow was that to the labor movement?
I don't think it was a blow at all. I think we accomplished so much in November by taking a candidate like David Alvarez, who stood for values and principles, and ascended him to almost becoming our mayor right now. And I think the labor movement proved that values and principles are what counts.
And we've got to close it there. Mickey Kasparian, thanks so much
Thank you for
coming on
having
the
me.
program.
Appreciate it, Amitha. Thank you.